Hello, it's David Allen, and you are watching Sporting Icons.
So Rafael Akpajari, I think I said that right, is a Nigerian heavyweight prospect. He's got a string of knockouts under his belt and that already, and he trains out of Miami. In fact, he used to be a former basketball and American football player as well at the University of Miami. Anyway, he's been training with Deontay Wilder and has given everybody a bit of a snippet as to what's been going on. Now, a few of the things that Akpajari's been saying is that, first of all, he wants to be part of Deontay Wilder's sparring team going forward because Akpajari is as tall, if not taller, than Tyson Fury. So quite clearly, he's a bit of a unit. Now, he's saying that Deontay Wilder, he's been training with his own coach, as in Akpajari's own coach, who is a speed and conditioning coach. That's pretty much his background of what I can get from this article. So is this guy going to now be going part of Deontay Wilder's team going forward? We'll have to wait and see. Maybe Miami will now be Deontay Wilder's permanent training base going forward. Maybe he's going to take himself out of Alabama, take away all the distractions, this, that, and the other, and just focus on the boxing. In fact, Akpajari, he's been saying that he's been with Deontay Wilder for quite some time, and Wilder is in tremendous condition, which is no surprise. Wilder is always in great condition. He doesn't walk around or balloon up in between each fight. He's always in tremendous condition. In fact, we could probably argue that he's probably a bit too slender to be a heavyweight, which is why he gets knocked off balance quite easily, which is maybe why he can't take too much of a punch, if we're being brutally honest. But Akpajari is saying that Wilder's in tremendous condition. He's been doing the speed and the condition, all that kind of thing. And he's been looking forward to the Tyson Fury third fight. In fact, he's very, very confident of beating Tyson Fury. In fact, Akpajari says that, in his opinion, the only person who can beat Deontay Wilder is Deontay Wilder. Now, I have to disagree with that one, which would be no surprise for most of you guys, because the truth is Wilder loses pretty much every fight that he has ever since he become world champion. It's just that at the end, at some point, he always manages to pull out the big punch. So he's always been a loss waiting to happen. So I don't quite agree with Akpajari's statement on that one. But is Akpajari's trainer now going to be Wilder's trainer going forward? Is Wilder now going to be based and staying in Miami? What kind of new additions has he got to the team? We don't know. I mean, Akpajari has said that Wilder will address all the rumours that's been going around about the costume, the autopsy that apparently he's had, that his brother said that he had, the dents in the forehead, glove gate, all this kind of thing. He will address that in time, but he's saying that he can't see how Wilder was injured because he was ready to go and have this third fight, this rubber match with Tyson Fury back in July. So that will tell you from February to July, if it was really that bad, he wouldn't have been medically cleared now, would he? So apparently he has been medically cleared, so it can't be as bad as what some of his fan base has been going on about, some of these fanatics. But the other things that he's been talking about as well is that Deontay Wilder is extremely confident of beating Tyson Fury. In fact, he's never been more confident. In fact, we're going to see a new and improved Deontay Wilder. Now, new and improved, I mean, it's like anything. I mean, Wilder, he hasn't really tried to fix or change anything because it's always worked for him. He's always been happy to lose rounds because he's always been confident that at some point in those 12 rounds, he's going to pull out the big right hand and his opponent's going to go to sleep. That's always been what he's been relying on. So new and improved, are we now going to see a bit of a boxer in Deontay Wilder? Because Wilder, he does have a very, very good jab. He just doesn't really use it. But again, I think people forget, and I'm guilty of it myself, is that Wilder does have that amateur pedigree. Not great, extensive amateur pedigree, because he only had, 36 amateur fights. But of course, he did get a bronze at the Olympics at the heavyweight limit, which is a cruiserweight, really. But he does have that kind of background to him. So he can box when he really, really has to. It's just that these kind of people, when they keep on doing the same thing, fight after fight after fight, and it's been working fight after fight after fight, at some point, you're always going to revert to type, which is a Tony Bellew saying, right? So it doesn't really matter how you start a fight. At some point, when you start getting hit back and maybe your tactics aren't working like you're hoping, you're going to go back to type. So for me, I would always expect Wilder to go back to that one, which is lose rounds and potentially get battered again by Tyson Fury if he's having no kind of success in the first couple of rounds. But what kind of new additions is happening with Deontay Wilder, again, we'll have to wait and see. Is his new coach in Miami going to be his full-time coach going forward, or at least part of the team? Is JD still going to be there? Is Mark Breland going to be there? There's been rumours of George Foreman joining the team, Floyd Mayweather joining the team, which would be kind of ironic, as it was Deontay Wilder who was mocking Tyson Fury, saying, well, clearly you're not very confident at beating me because you've changed trainer from Ben Davison to Sugar Hill Stewart. So clearly you're not confident. For me, I've always been with this very same team. I don't need to change. So if he has made some changes, he's contradicting himself a little bit. But I think the most important thing, or probably one of the biggest things for Wilder, which is why he's been very, very quiet on social media, is that this whole build-up is all going to be about all the rumours that his fan base have put out. The glove gate, the watering, the costume, this, that and the other. All of these real girly excuses that they've really been coming out with, and that's what's going to be thrown at Wilder. It's not going to be about, well, what can you do against Tyson Fury to become a two-time heavyweight champion of the world? No, it's about, well, what happened? What about this rumour? What about that rumour? And that's what is going to be thrown at Wilder. And Wilder has been his own worst enemy by allowing these people to do it. Maybe he's asked them to do it, I don't know. But he's going to have to address all that in time, and they won't leave it alone. It's going to keep on going and going and going, and of course that is fuel and ammunition for Tyson Fury to throw at him. Now, Wilder being in pristine condition, it is what it is. I know people haven't heard too much from him, again, because he's been hiding away from social media, which is very, very unlike Deontay Wilder. For me, he's extremely embarrassed about what happened, and he has every right to be embarrassed, because he didn't just get stopped. He got dominated, and his team threw in the towel. That's going to hurt his ego. It doesn't matter how much of a portrayal he wants to put on as the big tough guy. That's going to hurt his ego. Of course it is. And it would with anybody. So fair play. But I think that him training in Miami and maybe getting away from distractions, it might be the right thing to do. As in, get away from the family for a while. I know it's always hard to, when you don't see your wife, you don't see your kids and your family and that around you, or your usual environment. But sometimes change can be best. It really can. So, I mean, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, as far as this Nigerian heavyweight is concerned, I think that, him being tall and everything, but he's not experienced. He won't have the footwork of a Tyson Fury. He won't have the punch selection of a Tyson Fury, the feinting and all this kind of thing that Tyson Fury does. So, is he a good addition for Wilder? I don't know. I mean, for size, sure. But there's quite a few other heavyweights out there as well who are maybe not as tall as Tyson Fury, but sometimes you don't always need to be, because you don't always have to go for the chin. You don't. You've got to work on your body punches as well. And that's pretty much how you beat Tyson Fury. If somehow you can trap him, don't go headhunting. Go to the body, slow him down a bit. That's probably the best way to beat him. Personally, I don't think Wilder has too much of a chance outside of a puncher's chance against Tyson Fury. But hey, you never know, right? Maybe we're going to see a heavyweight version of Floyd Mayweather coming in against Tyson Fury, right? Unlikely, but you never know. Anyway, drop your thoughts below about it. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you all in the next video.